Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name's Sierra and I am going to make some sourdough sandwich bread with you. I'm also going to clean out my freezer because I have some plans for my freezer that I have decided I want to try and see if it makes my life easier over the course of the next 2 weeks. And I will also do a chicken drumstick recipe for dinner with you tonight that I'm really excited to try. So first we're gonna start with the sourdough bread, sandwich bread. We like to have bread on hand. I don't like to purchase bread. We have some restrictions that we cannot eat all of the sandwich bread, so that's actually what prompted all of this for me, was for home cooking meals and just making healthier life choices for myself and my family. And it's really been a blessing in disguise, actually, to learn how to make time to cook basic ingredients and things for my family. So to start with the sandwich bread, I put in 1/3 cup of my bubbly active sourdough starter. I have a lot of sourdough starter right now, so I'm gonna start using it and finding creative ways to do so. I think I'm gonna do an animal cookie recipe that are like the boxed animal cookies that we used to eat way back when. But I needed some bread. So first we're gonna do that. I put in 2 teaspoons of salt in here as well. I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of honey. You can also use sugar as well, but I just enjoy honey. It's gonna be messy and sticky, so we'll clean that here in a minute. I'm gonna put in 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. Did want to measure this. Because I used the honey instead of the sugar, I might have to use a little bit more flour. I'm just using all-purpose flour, but you can use bread flour. You can do a half and half mixture. I've done that before. You can use wheat, all-purpose flour. We like softer sandwich bread. I tend to try and make my bread using the all-purpose flour. This is 1 1/3 cup warm water. I was checking it because when I did this earlier, I overheated it just to give it some time to cool down because I knew I would need to later. And then I'm gonna add in it says 3.5 to 4 cups of flour. This is a 2-cup scoop, so I'm gonna start with 2 cups. I know I'm gonna need more, but I don't want to overdo it. So we're gonna start with the 2 cups. We're gonna let this incorporate and use our dough hook on the mixer. Just a quick tip, I know I've said this in other videos, but something that I learned from KitchenAid and trial and error is that when you're kneading bread, you want to start at the 1 setting and you want to let it incorporate, and then you can kick it up to 2, the setting of 2, but do not ever use the dough hook over the 2 setting speed on your KitchenAid. It will cause your KitchenAid to not be good for you and start smoking out the back. 3 minutes of using the dough hook and your KitchenAid mixer is equivalent to about 7 to 10 minutes of hand kneading. So there's no need. A lot of recipes will call for like 5 to 10 minutes, and 10 minutes is way too long. Okay, starting to incorporate now. So I'm gonna go up to 2 and let it further incorporate. I'm gonna take this off now that the flour is incorporated for the most part. And I'm just gonna let it do its thing for a few minutes. I'm gonna get some more flour ready here. For this recipe, I probably will use a full 4 cups of flour because I used the honey. I'm just gonna kind of scrape the sides in. You normally don't have to, but I'm seeing a lot of flour on the sides of my bowl, so I'm just gonna scoop it in. The reason that we use warm water, by the way, when we are making our bread for most recipes with the sourdough starter is because it will help activate the natural yeast that is in your sourdough starter. So you don't have to actually add yeast to your recipe. Now, if you need something quicker than, you know, an overnight ferment because you forgot you were having a party or had a last minute like, oh, hey, let's have a barbecue get together. Happens all the time in our family. You can use yeast and the sourdough starter together. It just helps it rise quicker. It gives it that boost that it needs to rise. But if you are able to prepare ahead of time, at least a couple days in advance before a get together or a party and you're homemaking bread, then you can just use this and ferment it, or just have it do a quick day ferment, start it in the morning. Normally I would start this in the morning, but today was kind of a hectic day, so here it is, nap time now, and I'm just getting around to doing my daily quick things. So our dough is starting to look good. I added about another cup of flour at least. So I have about 3 cups of flour right now. I am going to need a little bit more because it's really starting to come together nicely and it smells really delicious, like bread, homemade bread. But it is still a little bit sticky, I can tell just by looking at it on the dough hook. And it's just sticking to the bottom. So I am going to go ahead and add a little bit more flour. See, as you can tell, it just kind of sticks. So it's starting to form, starting to come together, which is good. That's what you want. That's about 4 cups of flour. So this should be good, but we'll see what happens. I'm just going to incorporate that a little bit. Put my side thing on there so I don't have flour all over the place. Turn up the speed a little bit. And it's looking good. Hopefully, maybe you can hear it kind of all coming together and clumping together. I'm gonna grab a cutting board really quick so that I can knead it a couple more times after it's done here. I'm gonna place it in my bowl once it's all kneaded. And then I am going to set it off to the side and cover it with a towel and let it just sit and do its thing for at least 8 hours. So I'll come back to this tomorrow morning is what I will end up doing. And baking it. Letting it do its final rise and then baking it. So there's a little bit of a process. Honestly, I know a lot of people say you need to fold and stretch and do all of those things with your bread. I personally cannot keep it in my schedule to do the fold and stretches, so I don't really do that, and my bread usually turns out fine every single time. I think that if I did do that, then it might be a little bit more airy and I might get that airier bread, but I try and find recipes that say like fluffy, soft sourdough sandwich bread, because that's, like I said earlier, the kind of bread that we like to eat. to get my tools in the sink that I used, by the way. And a great thing about sourdough starter, and something that I love the most about sourdough starter, is that anytime you use your sourdough starter, you do not want to put it down the sink because it can act like cement into your pipes. So you don't want to actually do that. Instead, what I do is I put it into a bowl and I rinse all of my dishes off into this bowl, and then I take it out and I put that water into my garden. And my garden, for some reason, loves it so much. And so it's like a natural fertilizer for my garden. And I've kind of done a test to where I didn't do this for a week or two, and then I went back to it, and my garden was, the difference between my garden was night and day. Okay, so this is what the dough looks like when you've added enough flour. Notice how it's sticky. You want it to be a little bit sticky, and that's okay. I'm just gonna take my dough right out, and I'm gonna get a little bit of flour just so I don't have it all stick to my hands here. And I'm just, notice how nice and soft this bread is and stretchy. And that's so good, that's what you want. So I'm just gonna knead it a couple times. And you just knead it by folding it over and pushing it down at the same time. It's already pretty well kneaded because of my KitchenAid. Okay, so I think we're in a good place right now. I'm gonna fold it under and form it kind of into a ball. That's how you form things into a ball, is by folding them under. And then I'm just going to place it into my glass bowl. Okay, you want to use glass really when you're doing sourdough. And then I'm just going to cover it and put it off to the side. I already have some, from one of my last videos, I have some hamburger buns here that I homemade. And so I just need to finish this. They've been fermenting for a couple days now in the fridge. I kind of forgot about it yesterday and I needed to handle these yesterday, but that's okay. An extra day of fermenting is not that big of a deal. And I'm gonna just form these into hamburger buns. So maybe we'll do that later together. It's just sitting at room temperature right now, just to get a little bit on the softer side before I shape them. And then I'm gonna actually put these into the freezer for 4th of July. We have some big plans for 4th of July, so I need some homemade hamburger buns for our 4th of July dinner. All right, now that this is all finished, I'm going to go through the freezer with you today and just organize it and clean it out. Like I said, have an idea as to why I want to do that, and that's because I really want to try and just put my freezer meals in the freezer so that in the morning when I need to get them out, or the night before, I don't have to think about it. They're just right there, they're in the house with me, rather than going out into the garage and going into the freezer and trying to search through the freezer and find them. So I'm gonna put all of this into I'm gonna clean all this up really quick, and then we will start the freezer redo. Okay, so I have emptied out the freezer, as you can tell, except for our ice packs and stuff. I'm gonna come back and clean this because it is gross, and that is just what happens when you don't have time to go through your freezer and pantry on a regular basis. So that's probably at least a year since I've gone through, but as you can tell, this is all of the things that I have pulled from my freezer. And just looking at it, first of all, I can't believe how much stuff was actually in the freezer. And second, this is why I don't know what I have. And then I go to the grocery store and I am still buying more and more things. So to make life better and life easier and spend less at the grocery store, spend less time at the grocery store, I'm gonna try and make this more manageable so that I know what I have, and so that maybe, I don't know, after looking at this, I feel like I could do a pantry challenge even because we just have so many things in the freezer all the time. So my plan is to keep the fruits and the vegetables in the freezer so that I can make smoothies for breakfast or for a snack for, you know, an easy snack. And then I have also some cooked meats and stuff, like shredded chicken. When I buy a rotisserie chicken and then I shred it, we don't eat it, so I throw it in the freezer. That's an easy chicken salad sandwich lunch. That's an easy chicken soup dinner. So I want to make sure that I remember that I have these, so I'm going to put those in there. And then I'm going to put, after I do our freezer dump meals, I'm going to put those in there as well, so that all I have to do at night is pull one out, stick it in the fridge, and then put it in the crock pot the next morning. I'm hoping that this is just going to simplify my life. So I'm going to start by cleaning the freezer. And I'm just going to grab my rag. I'm just going to wipe it down with some water first. I feel like I should vacuum this out and it would make life easier, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's see, does this come out? No, probably not. That's okay. All right. Just going to finish cleaning this out really quick. It takes a minute to wipe them out and wipe them down. I like to keep all my ice packs up on the top with the ice. It's just super easy to pull them out in the morning when getting back to school lunches together, or just if we're going somewhere and we need a quick snack packed. It's just very simple to have everything handy, and I really started to think about functionality and how things work around my house and what makes my life easier, because as a mom of 3, the easier things can be, the better it is for me to make sure that I'm ready to go and prepared quickly and efficiently. Really. Okay. Oh my goodness. I can't even believe that we are doing this together right now and you guys are seeing real life what this looks like and how I don't keep up on this. You could use some vinegar if you wanted to, you know, clean this a little bit more. Probably some Dawn Power Wash would be good as well. I just am using regular water and a rag. Remember you put food in here, so you don't want to use anything like bleach or anything like the beeping. My fridge doesn't like to be kept open for long periods of time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close this and let it get back up to temperature. I'll clean the other side here in a minute with all the ice packs in it. Probably want to wash. So let's see. Fruit, bananas, some bread. And I'm gonna start putting my fruit back in. I'm gonna put the fruit, I think, on this side over here. And then I'll put my freezer meals on this side, and then I'll just put my ice packs back up on top. All right, I've started to put my stuff back in the freezer. I've decided that right here is going to be my fruits and my vegetables, my frozen fruits, frozen vegetables. And then I'm gonna put my ice packs back up on top where they are. I really like them in that location. And then on this side is where my freezer meals and my cooked meat is gonna go so that I know what I have and I can easily just pull it out. There is really not, I haven't found an easy way to put things in this type of freezer yet. So if you have a method, please let me know what that method is, because things just get thrown in here and I don't like that. But I haven't found a more efficient way yet to make that better. Put my lemon cubes up on the top. I love to freeze lemon juice after I squeeze lemons, when I get a whole bunch of lemons, or even oranges or pineapple juice, just whatever juices that I have, and then I add them to my water, and it's just a really easy way to add them to your water if it's ready to go and it's in an easy accessible place. I also keep my butter in here as well in the freezer. Keep one inside the house and the rest are outside, and then I just restock it. Actually, I have a box in here, so I'm just gonna throw that back in the box. Put it back in there. Okay, and then I'm going to empty this out really quick and dump it out. Put my bigger ice packs in here. Okay, I was able to clean and organize everything really quickly, but I just wanted to show you what the after looks like. So up here I just have all my ice packs. They're kind of sorted a little bit different. Of course, the ice cream, you have to have that. That's important in your freezer inside the house. And then I have my juices with the ice and the butter. On the bottom, this is where I just put in my, so I can read them, my labeled items, like my cooked things, like tri-tip cooked, and some shredded chicken and some bagels, just breakfast and dinner and lunch items. I also threw in here my 2 broth bags. I save these. When I do any type of cutting of celery and carrots or onion or mushroom, or have a chicken bones left over from a rotisserie chicken, or a chicken that I cook, a whole chicken that I cook, I put them in the freezer. And so when I need chicken broth, I can pull one of these bags out, throw it in the Instant Pot, and cook it up real quick. On the other side, I decided, like I told you earlier, to just put my fruits and my vegetables. So now I have it all neat, and I can see it's kind of in a single layer. So I can quickly grab what I need. I am going to be making a lot of smoothies, it looks like, and I am going to use a lot of these things for my freezer meals in my next video, so I'm really excited that I did this. I also have a marinade in here that looks delicious, and it was delicious, avocado marinade, and I'm going to use that also in one of my freezer meals. So this was a great thing. I have a bag here of stuff that I'm going to take out to my other freezers in the garage, and then I'm going to do the chicken recipe with you for dinner tonight. We're gonna get that started so that we can get it cooking, just because it's nap time and I have some time to do things without a ton of interruptions. So I will be right back with that.